I guess last thing, just go Ravens, baby.
Ravens Nation.
Everyone's hating on us tonight, and not hating. I just think there's a lot of doubt going into this game. Lamar's not in. Just want to say one thing about that. I have respect for Lamar Jackson. He's immense athletic talent. I cannot help but think that, unfortunately, when you make your whole thing from the beginning of the season, like I'm betting on myself, I'm doing this, like I'm trying to get that big contract, whatever. It does start to raise doubts when we're in this position at the end of the season where every week we're thinking like, is he going to come back and play? Is he going to come back and play? And then it turns out he's not. And you have to, if you're being honest, sit there and wonder, are you really not actually able to play? Or are you more concerned with your own personal well-being and going into next season and getting the max contract possible, and so you don't want to go in and risk that? Which even then, I can't even diss that, because it's like at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, this is your career. You're going to do what you want.
Yeah, he's looking out for himself.
However, that's not, in my opinion, a championship mentality. And all I've ever been saying is, look, when you want a quarterback, you want a team leader that is going to put himself to the side and do what's best for that team and give us the best position to go forward. Again, I am not going to sit here and act like I'm in a position to say that Lamar Jackson should play tonight because it's all about the Ravens and not about him. I don't want him going out there and destroying his knee. And even if we win, we get to the end of the season, we win a Super Bowl, but then his career's over. Like, how could you expect that out of a person? So I don't expect that out of a person. However, I do think that there are certain people that would fucking do it. I don't think Tom Brady would be sitting out this game. I'm sorry. And that's the difference between a great and a fucking good. And
yeah,
so,
but also like his shit would have been figured out. I think isn't like also one of the big problems with the Lamar situation is like his mom's his manager. So like I don't know how much experience she has with like
I don't
doing
know
that type of shit. You know what I mean? It's like if I blew up and had you be my manager, you're not a trained manager. Like you would be good because I would trust you, but like you wouldn't know how to fight the NFL to fucking fix my contract.
Yeah. I don't
have
really
the experience.
Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs of that. I just look at it from just like a player, like a personal standpoint. It's like the money thing. Obviously, you're dealing with millions of dollars. The whole thing is about like what's going to happen next season. Like, are we going to franchise tag him? Are we going to keep him on? Is he going to go to somewhere else? Like the whole thing is like his rookie contract is ending, and now it's coming down to like, are the Ravens going to pay him what he's worth, or are we going to get rid of him? And so this whole season was him being like, I think he turned down some contract because he didn't think it was enough money. Again, this is also someone who doesn't, I'm not completely abreast of everything, but I think the general idea of it is like, his whole thing this season has been like, I'm betting on myself. I'm going to fucking show everybody this season why I'm worth the amount of money I'm saying I'm worth. But then it's like, okay, but then you get injured 5 weeks before the end of the season, and then everybody thinks, we barely scrape through the end of the season and get into the playoffs, and everybody thinks like, okay, Lamar's going to be back. We're going to be good in the playoffs. Like, he's coming back. And then it comes out, he's like, no, I'm actually not coming back for that either. And it's like, okay, so now we're just fucked. And it's like, if this was your bet on yourself season, it's safe to say you might have lost that bet. And I know that sounds harsh to say, but this isn't exactly probably what you had in mind when you said, I'm going to fucking show everybody how valuable I am, because the whole criticism of Lamar Jackson, which was always, everybody has their own thing. Oh, no, you only think of that because of this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, the reality is like there's a reason why everybody was saying like, look, that type of quarterback that's running around and fucking putting himself in harm's way at all times, it's going to lend himself to more injury. And there's no coincidence that we constantly find ourselves in this position where he's, oh my God, what do you know? He's injured. So now all that stuff that everybody was saying, all the criticisms are proving to be true, not because they were fucking bigots or anything like that, but just because it's like, it's the fucking truth. Sorry, like, you're a quarterback. And when you're fucking you're truck sticking people on a scramble, that's not how you stay healthy for a 17-game regular season and take 4 more games in the playoffs. It's just not. And so you have this happening right in front of our faces. And the reality is, it's like, I've always, like, I don't know what's actually going on. I don't know all the ins and outs and all the details. I'm not saying that I'm like the word of God on this or anything, but as from an outsider perspective, being aware to the point that I possibly can be of all the circumstances surrounding it, I just don't feel good as a Ravens fan that this is a situation we're in, and it doesn't make me feel confident that this is the mentality that's going to bring us another Super Bowl. It just doesn't. I don't think that you build a team off of a bunch of people that are betting on themselves. I think you build a team off of a bunch of people that are betting on the team. And there's a very clear path of action you take when you're team-oriented versus when you're self-oriented. And again, I cannot blame a professional athlete for doing what's best for his own personal career. But as a Baltimore Ravens fan, not a Lamar Jackson fan, I like Lamar Jackson, but I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. And as a Ravens fan, I'm not going to sit here and delude myself into thinking that that type of mentality is what's going to bring us a Super Bowl. Because guess what? It's not. It's not. So we'll see what happens tonight. And it may very well pan out because I've never seen a team more counted out in my life. The Ravens are counting themselves. That was my whole fucking subpar meme that I did today about the fucking thing. Just talking about how like Ravens fans we've already lost this game in our head. Fans, I like to believe that the team still thinks they can do it. In reality, this is one player. Obviously, we lost Duvernay, but like, you know, in reality, if Lamar was coming back, we'd be going into this game thinking like we're good. So it really is just the fact that Lamar's not playing that we're like, dude, I don't think we stand a chance.
Doesn't that like almost say a lot about like the situation though? Like that maybe he's right that he deserves that kind of contract.
Perhaps,
yeah,
that's
off
true.
The team makes that much impact.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that is a good point. And I think what tonight will show is if we wind up managing to win this game, then it would prove a lot of people in Baltimore wrong that no, we're not the Baltimore Lamar Jacksons, we're the Baltimore Ravens, and we're actually a good solid team that can perform without him. And then so I think that like part of the bet on himself thing could very well be, not saying this, I think he truly wants us to win, but if I was a betting man and my bet was,
and I
am hypothetically speaking, I
am a betting man.
If I placed $843 over 87 bets yesterday, then I would say that if we get blown out tonight, that's a point in the plus column for Lamar to be like, see what happens when I'm not here. This is why I'm worth that money. However, if we go in, which as a Ravens fan, how could you not hope for this? And we fucking perform and manage to win and get to the next week of the season.
You're going to make a lot of money.
Oh, I'm going to make a ton of money. But also, we're going to be sitting there going, oh, wait. It turns out it wasn't just Lamar. Like, we're a good team. We can make this happen. You don't win a Super Bowl with one great player. You win a Super Bowl with a great team. And maybe that would be a benefit. And then you have to wonder, okay, so does he come back next week? Or has he already had it in his mind that he's going to fucking sit out the rest of the season? And then here we are, supposedly we make it to the fucking Super Bowl. And it's fucking 5 weeks from now. And we're about to play the Super Bowl. And then at that point, it's like, he's got to be back, right? He's got to be back. And then you go, Do we fix what's not broken? Do we fix what's not broken?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, so I don't know. I'm not the biggest football fan in the world. I know a lot of people are going to hear everything I just said and say I'm a fucking retard. And guess what? You might be right. So whatever. I don't care. Go Ravens. That's all I'm trying to say, baby.
Go Birds.
Yeah.
And I just want to put some finalizing bows on what we talked about last week about the Ravens as pertains to Lamar Jackson. Lamar was not at the game. And I know that this is an annoying topic that a lot of people are like, shut up, stop talking about that. Why is everybody so pressed, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just asking, if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, take this ride with me real quick. Take yourself back. The year is 2013. The Ravens are in the playoffs. Ray Lewis is hurt. Ray Lewis is not playing in the playoffs. The Ravens go to play the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati. And who's not on the sideline? Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis isn't at the game. He's not in the huddle, giving the fucking pregame speech, wishing he was out there, talking about, we got to do this effort. Get out there, put your heart, blood, and soul on that field. Win this, blah, blah, blah. None of that. He's just fucking chilling. Not at the game. You can't picture that. Why? Because it would never fucking happen. So any arguments about, oh, it's, he was advised not to travel. for a sprained knee, sure. I'll say this. Damar Hamlin, the guy who literally fucking died on the field 2 weeks ago, was at the Bills game for the playoffs. Now, granted, that was a home game, but still, I'm really hard of hearing any excuses outside of clearly there's some backroom shit going on with the Ravens where Lamar is not happy with the offer he's been given. He's not stoked about it. And he hasn't even so much as tweeted about like, yo, good season, guys. He put up like some fucking tweet like a couple days before the game, just talking about his injury. It didn't even feel like he wrote it because like every other thing he tweets is like written a certain type of way with like emojis and like, yo. And then fucking this one tweet was like written like, I've been diagnosed with blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. You post this fucking long thread tweet about your injury. And then since then, basically radio silence. The only things he's even retweeted have been things about like, I'm going to get mine. I'm going to do this. I'm going to bet on me. And it's like, all right, like you don't even have words to say about like good season, like shouts out to my guys, anything. And then you pile that on to the fact that it's like you weren't even at the game to be there. It's like everybody's sitting there going like Lamar's a leader. He's the fucking leader of the team. It's like, okay, well, wouldn't the leader be at the playoffs? Even if somebody was like, well, technically injured reserve doesn't have to travel with the team. I'm sure Scott was trying to tell me that there's like a rule where they can't. And even if they can't, it's like, okay, then don't travel with the team. Go to Cincinnati on your own. You're fucking rich. You can do that. You can buy a fucking plane ticket, first class, and fucking private jet, whatever the fuck you want to do. I'm not even sure if that's true, though. I just feel like it's a thing where it's like you don't have to. I have watched plenty of fucking games where injured players are on the sidelines, both home and away. If you're the starting quarterback, picture again, Tom Brady. Just not at the game. Tom Brady's hurt. Patriots in the playoffs. Bucks are in the playoffs. He's not sitting on the sideline talking to the backup quarterback going like, all right, man, next thing you got to go out there.
He's over there kissing his son.
Yeah, he's kissing his son in between plays, sure, but he's fucking there.
Eating Papa John's.
He's fucking there. So I feel like everybody's in this weird thing where it's like they don't want to look at the obvious. The obvious thing is that Lamar is not our quarterback next year. I could be wrong, but as it stands right now, he's fucking not. Because every single action that he's taken or inaction that he's taken in the past 3 weeks screams he's not a Raven next year. And so any argument about, he's not I'm sorry, leaders are there. Leaders are there. Just because you can't play doesn't mean that you can't be there for the backup or be there for the offense to pump them up and talk to them in the huddle and give them advice. That's what a leader does. You know what a player does? If they're not there, they're not there. That's what a player does. So at the very least, the whole Lamar leader argument is out the fucking window. Now we're just talking about, is this quarterback, non-leader quarterback player coming back next year? And I don't fucking think so. And that's really all I have to say about that situation. But that was a new development since when we talked last time, which was before the game. So I didn't even know about that yet. So I just had to put a neat little bow on that and just say, I'm putting my chips on the table as a betting man and saying, we got someone else next year. And I'm not mad about it.